In the chaos of our daily lives, anger often feels like an old friend, always ready to visit, quick to arrive, and reluctant to leave. But what if I told you that the power to change this lies not in suppressing your anger, but in mastering the art of delay? Welcome to a journey of self-discovery and emotional mastery. Today, we explore a timeless piece of wisdom. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. These words, penned by the Roman philosopher Seneca nearly 2,000 years ago, hold a power that can transform our lives today. But before we dive into the how, let's address the why. Why should we care about managing our anger? Why not just let it flow freely? Uncontrolled anger is like a wildfire. It destroys relationships, damages our health, and often leaves us with regrets that can haunt us for years. But here's the truth. Anger itself isn't the enemy. It's a natural emotion, often signaling that something important to us is at stake. The real challenge lies in how we respond to it. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes in the Stoics. Ancient Greek and Roman philosophers taught that while we can't always control what happens to us, we have absolute control over how we respond. And in that space between stimulus and response lies our greatest power. So how do we create this delay? And what happens in that crucial moment of pause? Let's explore this through the eyes of three individuals from different walks of life. Meet Sarah, Michael, and Alex. Each faces unique challenges that test their patience and trigger their anger. Through their stories, we'll uncover practical strategies to master the art of delay and transform our relationship with anger. Sarah is a high-powered executive, constantly juggling multiple responsibilities. Her days are filled with back-to-back meetings, urgent emails, and high-stakes decisions. In a meeting, Sarah looks increasingly frustrated as a colleague presents a poorly prepared report. At this moment, Sarah feels her anger rising. The old Sarah might have lashed out, criticizing her colleague in front of the entire team, but Sarah has been practicing the art of delay as she feels the heat of anger. Sarah remembers the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In that moment of delay, Sarah asks herself three crucial questions. 1. What is within my control in this situation? 2. How would my best self respond to this? 3. Will this matter in a month from now? By creating this delay, Sarah gives herself the space to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. She chooses to address the issue constructively, turning a potential conflict into an opportunity for improvement. Now, let's meet Michael as a high school teacher. He faces a different set of challenges dealing with teenagers. All day requires patience, understanding, and often a thick skin. Michael is in a classroom facing a student who is being disruptive and disrespectful. Michael feels his anger building as the student's behavior threatens to derail the entire class. But Michael, too, has learned the power of delay. At this moment, Michael recalls Epictetus's words, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." During this short walk, his moment of delay, Michael reflects on three key points. 1. This student's behavior is not a personal attack on me. 2. There may be underlying issues causing this behavior. 3. How can I turn this into a teaching moment? By creating this delay, Michael transforms his anger into empathy and turns a potential confrontation into a meaningful interaction. Lastly, we have Alex, a stay-at-home parent. While not in a traditional workplace, Alex faces countless daily situations that can trigger anger and frustration. In a scenario, Alex is dealing with a child's tantrum in a grocery store. As Alex's child throws a tantrum in the middle of the grocery store, Alex feels a familiar wave of anger and embarrassment, but Alex has also learned the art of delay. At this moment, Alex remembers the words of Seneca, "He who is not angry at sight of evil is not virtuous, but he who does not preserve his calmness amidst his anger is not wise." During this brief moment, Alex delay, three thoughts come to mind. 1. My child is not giving me a hard time. They're having a hard time. 2. How can I address the underlying need causing this behavior? 3. This too shall pass. By creating this delay, Alex transforms anger into understanding, responding to the child's needs, rather than reacting to the behavior. Sarah, Michael and Alex show us that the art of delay is not about suppressing anger, but about creating a space for wisdom to enter. In this space, we can choose our response, aligning our actions with our values rather than our immediate emotions. But how do we cultivate this ability to delay our anger, and what happens in our brains during this crucial moment? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the science of anger, the philosophy of the Stoics, and practical techniques you can use daily to master the art of delay. As we dive deeper into the art of delaying anger, let's explore what happens in our brains during those crucial moments of pause. When anger rises, our amygdala, the brain's emotional center, triggers stress hormones. Our body's ancient fight or flight response prepares us for immediate action, but this quick trigger response often does more harm than good in our modern world. This is where the power of delay comes in. By consciously pausing, even for a few seconds, we activate our prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain responsible for rational thinking and decision-making. This simple act of delay allows us to shift from reacting emotionally to responding thoughtfully. But how do we build this habit of delay? Like any skill, it requires practice and patience. Let's explore some practical techniques you can use in your daily life. 1. The 5-55 rule. When you feel anger rising, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 years? This simple mental exercise helps put the situation into perspective, often revealing that our anger is disproportionate to the problem. 2. Box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. Repeat this cycle 4 times. This technique, used by Navy SEALs, helps calm your nervous system and create that crucial moment of delay. 3. The Stoic pause. When faced with a triggering situation, mentally step back and observe it as if you were a neutral third party. Ask yourself, what would a wise person do in this situation? This creates emotional distance and allows for a more rational response. 4. Reframing. During your delay, try reframing the situation instead of seeing it as a threat or an attack. Can you view it as a challenge or an opportunity for growth? 5. The is it true technique. When angry thoughts arise, ask yourself, is it true? Often our anger is based on assumptions or misinterpretations. This question helps us pause and reassess. Remember, the goal isn't to never feel anger. Anger is a natural and sometimes useful emotion. The aim is to create a space between the trigger and our response where we can choose how to act. Let's return to our 3 friends, Sarah, Michael, and Alex, and see how they implement these techniques daily. Our executive Sai has made the 5-55 rule a regular part of her mental toolkit in a recent high-stakes negotiation. She felt her anger rising when the other party made what seemed like an insulting offer, but before responding, she quickly ran through the 555 questions. While the offer was frustrating, now she realized it wouldn't matter much in 5 months or 5 years. This perspective allowed her to respond calmly and continue the negotiation productively, eventually reaching a mutually beneficial agreement. Michael, our high school teacher, has been practicing box breathing. One day, a student repeatedly disrupted his class, testing his patience to its limits. As he felt his anger building, Michael excused himself momentarily and stepped into the hallway. There he practiced 4 cycles of box breathing. Those 64 seconds of focused breathing gave him the clarity to return to the classroom calm and centered. He addressed the student's behavior firmly but compassionate, turning a potential blow-up into a teachable moment.